Hi everyone, today we're going to be taking a look at potential 2024 presidential candidates. So basically we're going to be taking a look at dozens of different presidential candidates who could potentially make a run for the 2024 nomination. So this is a general discussion of their chances in a wide open primary on both sides. So just a few notes to get started with. So let's say that Biden is elected in November. I'm assuming right now he does not run for re-election due to age or death in office or health complication or other matters. Um, and the other scenario, obviously, if Trump is re-elected, obviously not looking as likely, but still a possibility, then obviously he just can't run for a third term. So in both scenarios, the parties will have wide open primaries on for both parties in 2024. Another note here, if Trump loses, I'm assuming he doesn't run again in 2024 for one term, as this could upend the whole primary system and would not apply to both 2020 situations because it wouldn't apply if Trump's re-elected. So it's just easier just to ignore that possibility, even though that definitely is a possibility. And for today, we're just going to be looking at the Democratic side, so that doesn't matter anyway. Alright, so starting off with the Democratic senators. Obviously, you have to put Kamala Harris, senator from California, high on your 2020 list. You know, a good experience. She ran in 2020, didn't do too well. Looks like she's probably going to be Biden's VP, and that's another note. Biden's VP, if Biden decides not to run and Biden wins, if Biden wins and decides not to run in 2024, they will be a big favorite going in to 2024 nominations. So Harris, she's got, good experience as a senator. And by the way, obviously, she is a senator, so even if she does get vice president, I'll still categorize her as a senator until she actually becomes vice president. But Harris, she's got good experience. She's a strong debater in the first few debates and then sort of slipped off. I'm going to be interested to see if she is vice president, how she performs against Mike Pence. I think she'll be ready to prosecute the case against him. But I think Harris in 2024, if she does decide to run, which I think she probably will be definitely a force to be reckoned with. Another candidate we've got here, Elizabeth Warren. Obviously by 2024, she'd be sort of getting up there in age. But I think that, she would be one of the leaders of a progressive 2024 ticket. She's still, not as progressive as Bernie, and I know progressives are pretty disappointed at her, but she's still, more progressive than Harris. So I think, if she does decide to run, she will also be a formidable competitor. Cory Booker, I think definitely could run in 2024. He might be a bit, sort of disappointed by his 2020 run, but I think Booker's definitely could run. I don't think he'll do all that well. He might, drop out before Iowa, but he'll probably do a bit better than he did last time. But, so yeah, Cory Booker, definitely another 2020 possibility. Here we've got Tammy Duckworth. She's an Illinois senator. It's worth noting here, when she was serving the US, she actually lost both of her legs in war. So I think definitely she could run. Definitely a possibility. I don't know how well she'd do, but she definitely could get some percentage of the vote. She's sort of more down the centrist line of the Democratic Party. Here we have the other Tammy in the Senate, Tammy Baldwin. Tammy Baldwin is Wisconsin senator. She is I believe, the only openly gay senator in the whole Senate. But yeah, so Baldwin, she would probably do well in Wisconsin because that's her home state. I think she could run in 2024, especially if she does, on the off chance, get the VP slot. Here we have Senator Mark Warner. I think, if Democrats are looking for someone who's sort of just, steady and sort of, doesn't really rock the boat, Mark Warner is your classic establishment pick there from Virginia. And then here we have the other Virginia Senator, Tim Kaine, who I believe tested positive for COVID, but I'm not exactly sure. But but yeah, Tim Kaine definitely could run in 2024. Hillary Clinton chose him as her running mate, but I don't know how well Tim Kaine or Mark Warner would do because they're both sort of just boring Virginia Democrats, honestly. White men. I don't know how many centrists. I don't know how many Democrats are sort of looking for that when they just had Joe Biden. Moving on here, we've obviously got Amy Klobuchar. I think again she could definitely run, and I think that she could do, okay. Maybe not win the 2024 primary, but she could definitely be someone who could run and do quite well, given she already ran in 2020 and did better than expected. But Senator Klobuchar, she's gonna be very interesting, and I definitely think she could run. Another senator we have here, Senator Gillibrand. She's sort of, some people have referred to her as a Hillary Clinton 2.0, but I think she's probably definitely more progressive than Clinton. So it's good. I think Gillibrand could run. She ran briefly in 2020, didn't do too well, but definitely, she might want to wait until 2028, 2032 to get, more name recognition. But she could run in 2024. Definitely a possibility. Sherrod Brown is someone who the Democrats might want to take a look at. He's, Midwestern senator, or is he congressman? No, I'm pretty sure he's senator. I filed him under senators, but Sherrod Brown, he's from Ohio, definitely a state that the Democrats could be competitive with in. I think that Sherrod Brown would be someone who you could say is quote unquote electable. He's sort of considered like progressive, but uh, not necessarily in the Warren sort of progressivism. He's sort of more in a populist sense of progressivism, so he's sort of more left on the economic stuff, and maybe more moderate on some social stances that he might have. But I'm not exactly sure about Sherrod Brown. Uh, okay, moving on, we've got some governors here that I wanted to take a look at. Here we've got Gavin Newsom. He is the governor of California. Obviously, governor of the largest state in the country. You obviously have to have him high on your 2024 long list. So if he does decide to run, uh, I think he has some political experience. What I would say about Newsom is I think he could have won the nomination, governor of California easily in the 1970s, 1980s. I don't know if governors with high amounts of political experience are what, people are looking for right now. So maybe not as much for Newsom, but definitely has a shot at it. Andrew Cuomo, again, you've got to have him on your long list of governors, governor of New York. So that's going to be interesting to take a look at. And then here we have Gretchen Whitmer, obviously, Michigan governor, possible VP candidate, but I don't think as much anymore. So it's going to be interesting to see who runs in 2024. We've just got a few more people here I wanted to briefly take a look at, and then once we get to the end, I'll say right now a very, very abstract assessment, and this is assuming Harris does not get VP. So we're not taking account into VP situations. This is just as they are right now. But representatives, obviously, you've got to put AOC on your list. I know, AOC. I'm pretty sure she could technically be president in 2024, but it is sort of a stretch. I don't know how well she'd do. Just I think she could easily get 10% of the vote, but I don't know about her political experience. Doesn't seem that much. Just at that point she would have served 6 years in Congress. I mean, that's not great for political experience, right? And I don't know but more than political experience, just her age of just being 35, I think she might want to wait until, put it this way, if I were AOC, I would say, just, keep being Congresswoman Ocasio-Cortez until maybe, Chuck Schumer's up in 2022, or maybe even wait until. So what I'd probably do is I'd say keep being Congresswoman until 2028. You can, challenge Chuck Schumer or, Kirsten Gillibrand in 2026. I believe that's when she'd be up. Would she be up then? No, she'd be up in 2024. So you could run against Schumer or you could run against Gillibrand coming up. And then after that, after serving 1 or 2 terms in the Senate, then you can think about being president. Maybe 2036, 2040 sort of time frame, maybe 2032. But I wouldn't. I think if AOC runs for president this time, I don't think she'd do all that well, and I think that she'd just sort of, embarrass herself and not be able to run in future, contests. Here we have Congressman Beto O'Rourke. Just a note on AOC. I think I'm gonna make a prediction. I'd say she's probably going to be president by 2050. That's just what I'm going to say. I think she'll be probably have been president or is president by 2050. So that's just a quick AOC note. Congressman Beto O'Rourke we have here. Obviously, you have to have him on your list. He didn't do well in 2020, but I think, if he sort of runs for governor or senator or something and serves a term, maybe you could see 2024, 2028 sort of situation. This is someone who I think people aren't paying as much attention to, and the same point applies to AOC as does Katie Porter, political experience. So maybe Porter wants to wait until, 2032 or something to run. But I think, she sort of just tells it like it is, and a lot of people quite like Katie Porter as a congresswoman, so she definitely could be someone who could win. And Ayanna Pressley on the younger end, but still, obviously a few, 10 years, I believe, 10, 15, I think 15 years older than AOC, so definitely someone to take a look at in terms of Ayanna Pressley. And then here we have Tulsi Gabbard as well, also could make a run for it. Finally, we have other candidates and wild card candidates here. So Stacey Abrams. So these are pretty much people who don't have a job right now in politics. Stacey Abrams definitely could run in 2024, 2028. Her big thing would be sort of doesn't have as much experience as perhaps people might like her to have. Here we have, sorry about that, here obviously Michelle Obama, if she does decide to run later, I think she would definitely be a favorite among Democrats, and she probably would be nominated. A few more, I think this is third last person here, Cenk Uygur here, host of The Young Turks, doesn't have much in the way of experience, and I think if he wanted to be president, he might want to, start off in, local races or being a senator or challenging Feinstein or something, but definitely could run, I guess, in 2024. I don't know, would he do that well? Probably not, but, I know he's very ambitious in terms of, his media corporation and the different things he's run for. And then here we have Andrew Yang. I think he's probably going to run in 2024 again. Definitely someone who could do better, maybe 5%, 10%. It's a slow and steady process for all these candidates. Here is one of the front runners, Mayor Pete Buttigieg, but I think he should probably run for something else and then come back and do it, but definitely someone who could run. Alright, let's go ahead now and go back to, I guess it's this slide, I think. Alright, so out of all of these candidates, I'm not going to say one person who I think is going to win, because that's just like way too hard at the moment. I'm just going to pick 5 people who I think could be front runners. So obviously, a lot of these senators are going to be front runners. Harris, I'd say definitely a top 5 favorite. So Harris is one of them. Warren, I think, would definitely be one of them. I don't think Booker, Duckworth, Baldwin, definitely not Warner or Kane. Klobuchar, sorry about that. Klobuchar, I would say, also could be a front runner, so I'd say she's number 3. There, I'm going to put Cuomo as my 4th front runner. And my final front runner, I'm going to put where is he? Mayor Pete Buttigieg. So my 5 front runners, I'm gonna say Andrew Cuomo, in no particular order, Andrew Cuomo, Kamala Harris, Elizabeth Warren, Mayor Pete Buttigieg, and Senator Amy Klobuchar. So a lot of those people ran in 2020. Definitely, you've got other people there. Andrew Yang, definitely someone. You've got Stacey Abrams could run. Ayanna Presley, Beto O'Rourke. I think all of these people could make a big, Kirsten Gillibrand could make a big impact on the race, but those would be my top 5 people who I think on the Democratic side. And I am going to do the same thing when we come back on the Republican side, and I think that's probably going to be even more interesting than the Democratic side for 2024. But that's it for today's video, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and and I'll see you all in the next one. Thank you for watching, and good night.